Walking around Prague is comparable to being in a fairy tale, except one minor detail. It's real. The city's so beautiful that it was spared by Hitler, or so the story goes. Regardless, Prague is the best preserved city in the region, with history going back a millennium. It is a living and breathing enigma, old and dirty, but somehow unimaginably graceful. An endless supply of winding cobbled streets, Gothic-inspired architecture, and red rooftops would have you feeling like you've stepped into the pages of a storybook. The streets of Prague are a fantasia, scarcely touched by the 20th century. It was a city of alchemists and dreamers, its medieval cobbles once trod by golems, mystics, and invading armies. These Praha streets are magic. Spend those special morning hours before the city has truly woken up with a nice walk across the Vltava River promenade. Watch the sun quietly rise over the red roofs and enjoy the sight of swans and the river breeze. And if you'd like to get your mindfulness game on, perhaps visit the Statue of Harmony and take a few deep breaths. And to spark up your curiosity for the day, stroll by the Devil's Canal. The Čertovka, as it is called in Czech, is a very picturesque man-made channel on the western side of the Vltava River. It was created by the Knights Hospitaller in the Middle Ages. It is said to have been named in the 19th century after a woman of devilish character. Venture off a bit inward from the river and you will find one of Prague's most iconic cafes. An establishment with noble atmosphere and a classic French touch. House-made artisanal breads, pastries prepared fresh daily, and tea and coffee served the proper way. A truly refined way to start your day. The large castle complex on the hill overlooking the rest of the city is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, and of course in Prague itself. Designated as a World UNESCO destination, it has a long and interesting history. It is a complex of palaces, 3 courtyards, churches, and pretty streets. The complex is also home to one of Europe's grandest churches. The St. Vitus Cathedral dominates Prague's skyline, almost acting like the city's guardian. It was built by Holy Roman Emperor Charles IV in 1344, and it took 600 years to complete. It houses numerous treasures, relics, as well as the tombs of many Bohemian kings and Holy Roman emperors. According to the Guinness World Book, the castle grounds are the largest castle in the world, and for those who love a little mystery, the Bohemian crown jewels are kept within its walls, hidden away in a secret room. We exited the Prague Castle through the Golden Lane. It is a cluster of well-preserved, old-time modest dwellings. It was home to castle guards and archers, and later to artists and goldsmiths. House number 2 is actually inhabited by the writer Franz Kafka. The homes are all lovely pastels, side by side one another, and make the perfect backdrop for a lovely picture. Step back in time and awaken your inner knight with some archery shooting. After climbing the vast steps to the castle complex, you'll surely be ready for a proper meal. Visit Wenceslas Square, located in the new town and only a 15-minute walk from the old town. This is where we found that little gem of a pirate restaurant. Recommending Italian food in Czech Republic might appear strange at first, but Prague is such a melting pot of phenomenal international cuisine, and when food equals art, who cares about its nationality? Plus, the place is steeped in history that connects it to the golden days of Prague. The site of the restaurant was a lavish house which was received as a wedding gift to one of the most notorious pirates of the Pacific in the 16th century. He was from a Bohemian and Italian descent and fell in love with the daughter of a Prague bourgeois family. Even though we try to go with our flow of the day and not to be too concerned with the top 10 checklists, a visit to Prague will not be complete without a snapshot of the iconic site of the Astronomical Clock. It is a 600-year-old clock with multiple dials representing the sun and the moon, the months of the year, and various saints. It also features figurines of Catholic saints as well as skeleton representing death, which on an hourly basis moves to strike the hour. There's almost a festive-like atmosphere around the clock most of the day and evening. That swells to standing room only before the clock chimes at the top of the hour. The square itself is extremely crowded, no matter what time of the day you visit. However, this is the steep price we travelers must pay when checking off a bucket list item. And following that same streak of must-sees, we headed to watch the sunset somewhere special. The two banks of the Vltava River are joined by a series of 15 bridges, the oldest and most well-known of which is the Charles Bridge. Featured in countless of Prague's cityscapes, it has almost become the face of the city. Built during the reign of Charles IV, this bridge is over 660 years old and lined with 31 sandstone statues of saints. Until 1841, it was the only crossing over the Vltava River, and during this time, its connection between the Prague Castle and the Old Town made it a critical trade route from Eastern Europe to the Western European countries. Features of the Gothic-style bridge are the 30 statues of saints and other religious figures that line each side. Charles Bridge lures tourists, street performers, and vendors to it. More than just crossing the river, it has become an event. At either end of the bridge are the fortified towers that once protected Prague. Climbing the million-tide steps is rewarded with a view you can certainly add to your breathtaking moments list. After the sun goes down, it is certainly time for a cocktail, rooftop, and an elegant dinner with a view. Duplex is a beautiful rooftop restaurant located right in the center of Prague, boasting a unique 180 views over the city center. The food is approachable, varied, and fantastic, including local specialties and amazing local wines. The venue is interesting because it doubles as a club frequented by world-renowned DJs, where you can certainly dance your dinner away. We were restless to discover different spots in different areas of town, and this led us to the James Dean Bar. Think vintage Americana explosion with an underground club that is dark and fun at the same time. Order whiskey with a side of movie popcorn or sit at the table carved out into a vintage car. There are countless of quirky bars in the area, including one that is made of industrial art. You won't be bored sipping on your drink. But if you're truly looking to satisfy your inner darkness, the winner is the Moon Club. Ultracal and uber minimalistic. Incredible cocktail program, dark techno beat, and salmon sashimi will leave you feeling like Leo DiCaprio. Obviously, we came on an off night, but honestly, we rather enjoyed having the place practically to ourselves, getting unobstructed shots and choosing our own VIP seats. Prague's name is not a coincidence. It actually means a threshold between the life on earth and heaven. A threshold that becomes thinner and narrower with each corner you turn. It changes like a precious stone to reflect the weather, the time of the day, and the season of the year. Prague isn't just a city, but an entity of some kind. Its dark magic, ancient splendor, and beauty will certainly leave you yearning for more.